Hey everybody, welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap year. It's an epic challenge in which we have to do 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. And today we are in the beautiful town of Blenheim and we're going to try some wines and we're going to bike. And I don't think those two things should be combined. Today we start with the obvious. It's our first full day in Blenheim and Marlborough is the largest wine region in New Zealand and Blenheim is its capital. So what are we doing today? Well, we are doing a wine tour.
We're not doing just a wine tour though, we're doing pretty much a winery crawl by bike. We're doing a guided tour with Explore Marlborough so we can check out some of the best wineries in the region.
After fitting our bike and putting some helmets on, yes, the helmets are mandatory in New Zealand when biking on the road, we are hitting the road. But it's only take a few minutes before we stop and get insight about the Marlborough region and its wine history. Karen knows heaps about the wine in the region because she's been here all her life and she gives us amazing insight, including something really amazing. If you notice around the Marlborough area, there's a lot of white stones at the bottom of all the vines, and it's said that this is what gives a very distinct taste to the wine of the region, and we're about to taste it ourselves.
The first winery we're checking out on our winery crawl is Framingham Wines, which has a really cool rock music theme to it. Also, Karen chooses this as the first winery to check out because it has a great variety of lots of different wines. And because Robin and I don't really have a select wine palette, it seems like a good place to start. Of course, it's also a great place to taste the famous Sauvignon Blanc of the Marlborough region, which is pretty much the wine that this region is known for. 85% of the wine coming out of New Zealand is Sauvignon Blanc, and most of it is made right here in this region. We try 6 or maybe 7 really awesome wines here at Framingham. The one that stands out to us though is this 11-year-old Riesling, which is a wine that you don't get to try at many cellar doors around here, so that's really awesome.
So now that we got to experience the terroir of Framingham, we are heading toward their cellar. It's quite interesting, they have a really cool looking cellar with a few bottles in display. It's just good looking, it's just a great way also to kind of cool down because oh my god, it's so hot today. After that, we hop back on our bikes toward our next destination. We have many wineries on our itineraries today and it's really cool to go from one to the other by bike because it feels like we kind of sweating the wine off and we're not getting as drunk as we would if we were just doing it by bus or by foot. Our next winery is Blenheim Winery and Karen tells us it's one of her favorites on her itinerary because it's a really family-oriented winery. It's all about family at Blenheim. There is the dad, there is the mother, there is the kids, everybody's working at some part in the winery. It's quite cool. Dan is our host at Blenheim and he tells us all about the genesis and how and why he started this winery. It was at the big turn of his life when he started having kids and wanted more time with the family, and a 9-to-5 job just wouldn't suit that. So he started this business in hope to make it something that the whole family could enjoy together. It's really cool, and on top of that he has one of the cutest dogs ever.
A thing I really love about this winery, apart from the wine of course, is it's just a real intimate setting. The bar is like a little mini garden bar and there's lots of garden furniture outside surrounded by trees and really lovely plants, so it's just a really awesome place to hang out. But that's it for this winery because we're heading to our next winery. What's really cool about taking these bikes from winery to winery is passing through the awesome landscape, passing through rows and rows of different vineyards, which is quite hypnotic, and there's also forest and awesome river views to be had as well.
So we just arrived at Nautilus, which apparently is one of the best one here. Look at this entrance. That's a big Nautilus, isn't it?
As soon as we arrive at Nautilus, Karen takes the time to show us a little bit of the area and she helps us get our bearings by showing us which winery we have already visited and which one we are going to visit today. Then we put the Naughty in Nautilus by trying some champagne. Yum, yum, yum. The wine is tasting better by the minute and I think I know why. We are about lunchtime and we haven't eaten anything just yet, yet we have drunk a ton of wine. So everything we're tasting is tasting absolutely delicious and Laura and I are just on a little cloud right now. But we're not going to have lunch at Nautilus, we are going to a very famous winery called Gizen for lunch. And it's just across the road, which is really cool because we're starting to get really hungry. The view at Gizen are absolutely amazing and the wine selection is gigantic. It's a pretty awesome place to grab lunch. So we're getting ourselves a table, order a massive platter of heaps of local food, and we're diving in.
The waitress takes the time to name absolutely everything on this delicious vintage platter. There's really an awesome selection here. One of the standouts here for me is the green shell mussels, which is another big produce of the Marlborough region. So after that delicious lunch and getting a bit of food in our bellies, we are moving on to our final winery of the day, getting some awesome views of the Marlborough region along the way, biking alongside the river and more vineyards.
The last winery that we're visiting today is Huia. They are kind of the hippies of the area. They are a biodynamic winery, meaning that they are trying to use much less chemical stuff than any other winery in the area. It's really cool. All their wines are actually really tasty and super sweet, which is really to the pleasure of Laura and I because, as she mentioned before, we don't have the most refined palate in the whole wide world, but we do like a good sweet drink. Our lovely host, which is a backpacker from the UK, he's telling us more about what biodynamic means, which is basically animals and plants working together like it should in order to avoid using any pesticide. It's a really cool way to make wine and it results into super tasting beverages.
I am now a rosé guy. Hey Jose, what do you like? I like Jose.
Oh my god.
Cut.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed seeing us getting tipsy on bikes. Honestly, you should drink a little bit less than what we did when we were doing this tour. But you know, it was overall a really fun experience. And Blenheim, Marlborough in general, the region of Marlborough, is actually the capital of wine in New Zealand, or the wine capital of New Zealand, as I say. So you definitely should check it out if you can, or if you are interested in the wine culture for sure. So we had a couple of extra comments on this video the first time we published it. So we had Chasing Adeline. Thank you very much, by the way, for still commenting many years down the line. I know you're still joining some of our live sessions to this day, and I really appreciate that. You're really awesome. We also had Tai V that was asking, I was going to ask about the bike tours. Was it worth it for the day, and did you get the bike in Blenheim proper? So that's a pretty good question. So yeah, it was a really awesome experience. We did really enjoy the fact that the bike gave us such a freedom to be able to cater the tour to whatever we wanted it to be. But yeah, depending on how much you're planning on drinking, maybe some of the driven tour, like the tour where you are going in a minibus, may be better for you. So it kind of depends about like what you want out of this experience. So you get to decide it would be better for you. But yes, it starts in Blenheim. It's really easy, and as you can see, like none of the drive or the biking sections were too hard. We also had Aline Helu that was asking us, can you tell it when did you do the tour, which month? So we did the tour in spring, and spring in New Zealand runs from September, November and October. So that's the 3 months, September, October, November. I don't know why I mixed those one up. But yeah, so that's the 3 months that spring is in, and that's when we did that specific tours. If you have questions of your own, make sure to put them in the comment of this video. If you find that what we're doing is quite useful, you may want to hit like and subscribe. You may also want to check out what we have on offer on Patreon. There is a lot of perks for you, including our hands-on help to plan your itinerary to New Zealand. There is a link in the description of that video, and you can also join us later on in this week during our live session. It's happening every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time, where we take all your questions live to help you make the most of your holiday in New Zealand. If you need to pick your brain and we are not online, it's all okay. You can check out nzpocketguide.com. It's New Zealand's largest travel guide. It's all free to use, and it's available at www.nzpocketguide.com. In the meantime, stay safe, travel awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.